Hello, my name is Carly Shea Smith, and I'll be talking to you today about atonality, Philip Glass, and Margaret Bonds. Atonality in the musical realm is a generalized term used to define music that seems to lack a clear and tonal center or key. It describes composition written from about 1908 to this present day. Atonality, although well suited for relatively brief musical utterance of great rhetorical or emotional intensity, proved unable to sustain large scales in musical terms. It was in an attempt to resolve this vexing dilemma to Swanberg devised the method of composing with 12 tones related only to each other, a method predicted on purely polyphonic considerations of sort that had been largely abandoned during the classical and romantic eras. Philip Glass. Philip Glass was born January 31st in 1937. Glass is an American composer who is widely known as one of the most influential musicians of late 20th century. Glass work has been described as minimal music while having similar qualities to other minimalist composers such as Lamonte Young, Steve Reich, and Terry Riley. He received accolades for his debut opera, Einstein on the Beach, and eventually earned Oscars nominated for scoring the film Kundun, The Hours, and Noted on a Scandal. Known for his distinctive contemporary minimalism, Glass has worked with artists from a variety of disciplines. By the same token, been typical of pre-tonal and early tonal music. Throughout his career, Glass collaborated with a broad array of international musicians representing diversity traditions with Gambian kora player Fode Musa Suso. He composed music for Jean Genet's play The Screams. The work was scored for piano, kora, flute, cello, keyboards, and percussion. Margaret Bonds. Margaret Allison Bonds was an American composer born March 3rd, 1913 in Chicago, Illinois. Margaret was one of the first black composers to perform and to gain recognition in the United States. She is best remembered today for her frequent collaborations in Langston Hughes. Her most predominant works include The Negro Speaks of River, voice and piano published in 1942, The Ballad of the Brown King, chorus, soloist, and orchestra in 1954, Three Dream Portraits, voice and piano in 1959, Mass in D minor for chorus and organ in 1959, Shakespeare in Harlem, music theater work in 1959, Montgomery Variation Orchestra 1965, and Credo Chorus and Orchestra 1972. Some of Bond's music, mainly mainly piano pieces and art songs, has been recorded in various labels. Throughout her career, Throughout her career, Bonds produced a wide range of work, spanning orchestral compositions, theatrical accompaniments, and traditional African American spiritual arrangements. She was the recipient of the Rosenwald Fellowship and the Rodman Wanamaker Award for composition. Bonds was widely credited with creating new interests in traditional African American musical forms, history, and culture. Margaret Bonds died on April 26, 1972, in Los Angeles, California, and she was 59 years old. Now we will talk about what I didn't tell you guys. We will talk about hip hop and how it began and how it all has come together and we have the music that we have today. So, On a hot August night in 1973, Clive Campbell, known as DJ Cool Rec, and his sister Sydney put on a back to the school jam in the recreation room of their apartment block at 1520 Sedgwick Avenue in the West Bronx. He developed a blueprint for hip hop music and cultural repose on the Jamaican tradition of toasting. He originated hip hop music at the young age of 13. Clive also developed breakbeat DJing towards the beginning of the 1970s. Cool DJ Rex started organizing dance parties in his home. Although widely considered a synonym for rap music, the term hip hop refers to a complex culture comprising four elements: DJ or turntabling, rapping, also known as MCing or rhyming, graffiti painting, also known as graph or writing, and b-boying, which encompasses hip hop dance style and attitude, which is beatboxing. The first hip hop record is widely regarding to the Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight from 1979. However, much controversy surrounds this assertion, as some regard King Tim III personality jock by the Fatback Band, which was released a few weeks before Rapper's Delight, as a rap record. Originating in the South Bronx in the late 1970s, hip hop went global by the end of the 80s. So, how did it get his name? According to one explanation, the term pairs the hip, that means trendy or fashionable, with the leaping movement hop. Today's rap reflects its origin in the hip hop culture or young urban working class African Americans. Its roots in the African oral tradition. It functions as the voice of an otherwise underrepresented group, and as its popularity has grown, it commercialization and appropriation by the music industry. This is my podcast, and you all have a good day.